If you want to get in contact with me, the best way to do it is on Instagram. If you just want to say what up, if you want to tell me you love my videos, if you want to tell me you love my beard, the best way to do it's on Instagram. Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Meek Mill is off probation, and he signs a new deal with Roc Nation. Tyler, the Creator, freestyles at Funk Flex, and Nicki Minaj has a major announcement. Let's talk hip-hop. So this is good news. Like, this is crazy, right? So, all right, for y'all that don't know, right, Meek has been going like back and forth with the Pennsylvania courts for the last like 10, 11, 12 years, right? It was for some incident that happened like back in 2007 where a police officer testified against Meek Mill. The arresting police officer, the officer who arrested Meek Mill, said that they ran into some like trap house or whatever like that, and that Meek Mill brandished the gun and pointed the gun at the officer, right? So like attempted murder on officer or whatever like that, or whatever the case may be. But Meek Mill, instead of doing jail time, decided that he would do probation, right? And then the judge that was overseeing him at the time was Judge Brinkley, and basically she had it out for Meek Mill and just looked at him as like just another thug from the streets of Philadelphia, right? The same streets that she grew up at, right? But the only thing is that this happened back in 2007 when Meek Mill was like maybe, I think he was like maybe 18 or 19 years old, very young, right? And you know, at that time, nobody knew that Meek Mill would be Meek Mill, like a huge superstar hip-hop artist, philanthropist, entrepreneur, business owner that he is today, right? And so slowly but surely, Meek Mill, you know, was offered a deal by T.I. He turned that down. He was offered a deal by Rick Ross, and he signed that deal. And then started making a lot of money. And I think that Judge Brinkley was just really jealous of him. So she pulls him back into court. He had to go to court for something years and years ago. And, you know, she approaches him about like remixing a song, some Boys to Men song for her so that she could dedicate it to her husband or whatever the case may be. He's like, no, this is inappropriate. You're my judge. So it was just a lot of things going on where she was like, okay, fine. You don't want to do what I'm asking you to do when your future rests in my hands, then I'm going to make it difficult for you, right? I'm not granting him permission to go to like Canada when he wanted to go see the Raptors play against, you know, the 76ers. He, you know, just various things stopping him from being able to travel and being able to get his real bag, stopping him from even being able to move out of Philadelphia, right? He still lives like not in the hood, but in the outskirts of the hood because by law he wasn't able to even leave there, right? Because of the judge. But, you know, it turns out, you know, after he goes on this whole thing about reform and trying to like expose the dark underbelly of the justice system when it seems like it's the just us system, he managed to expose the officer who arrested him. That officer stole money from some case. Then he was moved to like another department in Florida. They just basically moved him instead of firing him or whatever the case may be. The judge was exposed for being super biased and just kind of going out of her way to stop Meek Mill from doing certain things. And even the DA, right, the district attorney, right, who their job is to prove that Meek Mill is a criminal, even they, a couple years back, said, you know what, this ain't right. We think that, yeah, we want to do things fair. If Meek Mill's a real criminal, then we will prove that. But they also said, listen, the jury is not good and the judge is being very biased. And if we want to win this war against Meek Mill, we want to do it fairly. That's even what the DA said, right? The DA said that Meek Mill deserves to have a new judge and a new lawyer, right? Well, they overturned everything, okay? And they're granting Meek Mill a new, not a new judge and a new lawyer, a new judge and a new jury, right? Which is dope, right? So this is cool as hell. Now, it doesn't mean that Meek Mill is off the hook fully, right? What this means is that the DA now, with the new judge in place and the new jury in place, can bring this up and try to fight against Meek Mill fairly, right? But if the DA has been saying that Meek Mill has been treated unfair for the last 10 years, and those are the guys that their job is to put you in jail, and even they are saying that he's been treated unfair, it's more than likely that the DA will probably just drop all charges now that he has been granted a new judge and a new jury, right? So this is dope. So basically he got an appeal, right? So if Meek Mill got convicted for whatever the crime may be and he was sitting in jail right now, if he copped an appeal, that means that they would have let him out of jail right now and been like, all right, well, you got to go back to trial at a later date and we'll try this whole thing again, right? But the thing is that he wasn't in jail, so they just let him off probation right now, and they are saying that you probably gonna have to go to trial at a later date and we'll try this whole thing again. But in all honesty, they probably ain't gonna try the whole thing again. So Meek is not fully in the clear, but he's almost in the clear, which is dope, right? And we'll just have to see. So now that he's not on probation, he could move around. He could move out of Philly. He could go to Canada. He could go overseas. He doesn't need permission. He can go to California right now. Basically, Meek Mill is literally a free man for the first time in his adult life. If Meek Mill is, 31 or 32 years old, and he's been on probation since, 12 years ago, 2007, then when he got on probation, he was 20. Like, he was a kid back then. 20 is not a kid, but you get my point, right? And he, in his first time in his whole adult life, he can move around. And now he's still gonna fight for reform and fight for injustices. He made a statement saying that a lot of this happens to thousands of people and that they don't have the means like he has to fight against, the system. They don't have Robert Kraft in his corner. They don't have Jay-Z in his corner. They don't have, all these billionaires and millionaires in their corner, just like Meek had. So Meek is still gonna fight for reform. He's still gonna, bring light to all of this, and he's still gonna try to get out offenders who, are being taken advantage by the system simply because of the color of their skin and also the economic circumstances. So this is amazing, right? Hell yeah, man. Shout out to Meek Mill. Yo, this is fire too, right? Because Meek Mill just signed a Roc Nation deal on the same day that they let him off probation. On the same day they dropped all the charges and they said, yeah, you granted an appeal. He also signed a Roc Nation deal, right? And I want to be clear with everybody who doesn't really know or understand what that means, right? Roc Nation is not Rockefeller Records, right? Roc Nation is a whole conglomerate. Rockefeller Records is just a record label, right? Roc Nation has a lot of things up under the umbrella, to include management, marketing, title, just a bunch of different things. TV channels, TV stations, all kind of stuff. Streaming services, title, all that stuff, right? So that's Roc Nation, right? Not Rockefeller Records. It's not like Meek Mill signed the Rockefeller Records and he's going to be the next Beanie Siegel or the next Myth Bleak. No, right? Meek Mill is still under his contract on Maybach Music with Rick Ross, right? And Meek Mill is very loyal to Rick Ross, just like Wale is very loyal to Rick Ross, and Rick Ross is one of them CEOs that let their artists have creative control, that put his artists first, that doesn't try to outshine the artists and be all in the videos and all in the songs and everything like that. So I think that Rick Ross is a dope person to be signed to. A lot of people say, hey man, don't sign to another rapper because that rapper's only gonna worry about getting their career out and their stuff out. You need to be signed to a record label where their primary job is getting their artists out, right? But Meek Mill and Wale have both become very lucky because Rick Ross doesn't have that mentality where he's just going to try to outshine his artist. He's going to put you up there front, right? Another rapper that's like that is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was not trying to outshine Drake and Nicki Minaj or Tyga. He put them up front and said, these are my artists. Y'all need to rock with them, right? And all that's cool. So I don't ever see Meek Mill separating himself from Rick Ross because, they tight, right? But the whole thing is that he signed a Roc Nation deal for his record label, Dream Chasers Records, right? So what that means is now that is going to be under the imprint of Roc Nation. While Meek Mill still will be under Maybach Music, his record label is going to be under Roc Nation. So now as he's signing artists to his record label, those guys are going to be under Jay-Z and probably under Roc Nation management as well too, right? And all of this is dope, right? So now Meek Mill is like, yeah, I'm looking for young talent. I want to be a tastemaker. I want to bring the next generation of hip hop, and he's gonna do it under an umbrella that he loves, he knows, and he trusts, right? And we all know that Rock Nation has integrity. We all know that Jay-Z has integrity, and we all know that Jay-Z and Meek Mill ain't finna be signing no like trash rappers, right? They probably be like signing people like a Young Dolph or somebody like a T Grizzly or a Yellow Beezy, like real rappers from the real streets who have like something really to say, right? So this is dope, man. Meek Mill is making moves. You know that he owns a huge stake in the hat company Lids. He's just making like really big business moves, and he's like really following in the footsteps of Jay-Z, and you can clearly see that, you know, he looks up to Hov, and that's dope, man, because Jay-Z is the GOAT, and it's cool because Jay-Z said it, man. He said the blueprint, I'm gonna lay out the blueprint, and all you gotta do is follow it. He laid out the blueprint 1, 2, and 3. So hey, Meek Mill is following it, and that's fire. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. Alright, y'all, so I woke up this morning, right, and I saw there was an interview from Funkmaster Flex, right? Well, I thought it was a freestyle, right? So I clicked on it because I saw Tyler, the Creator, and Funkmaster Flex sitting there up at Hot 97. And I'm like, wow, okay, Tyler, the Creator freestyled on that. Like, that's weird that Tyler, the Creator, you know, that type of artist, that vibe will be up there with a Funkmaster Flex, who seems to be like a New York old head, I wear Timbs in the summertime with, you know, denim jeans, you know, kind of person, right? So it was just like all crazy, right? So I had to click on it, right? As I clicked on it, I realized that this is not a freestyle, right? It's a whole interview, right? I'm thinking it's gonna be like a 3-minute freestyle, and Tyler, the Creator, is about to spit some bars, right? Which I was ready for and also confused, right? But no, I mean, yes, he did do that, but also there was like an hour and 36-minute interview with Tyler, the Creator, and Funkmaster Flex, right? And this interview, man, I must say, was dope, right? Like, who would think, right? This is like the odd couple, right? Funk Flex, you know, old head, he been on Hot 97 for 20 some odd years. You know, people are like, oh, he's just an old New York, get off my lawn. If you're not real traditional hip hop, I don't want to hear it. If you're not Nas or Styles P, I ain't trying to hear you, you know what I'm saying? And then you have Tyler, the Creator, who produces all his own music, experiments with a whole bunch of crazy sounds, is definitely different in the way that he carries himself. He's a skateboarder, he does like funny shows on Cartoon Network, so definitely not something that a Funkmaster Flex would even be checking for, right? And so in the beginning of the interview, they basically cleared the air, and Funkmaster Flex was like, I'm not as familiar with your music as I should be or I could be. And then Tyler, the Creator, was like, no, I understand, that's cool, I get it, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to like sit here and be like, oh, you know, your music is all this and that. But they really found like a lot of common denominators, right? Tyler, the Creator, started asking Funk Flex, hey man, what do you do for fun? Funk Flex was like, I create, you know, I collect cars, you know, actual muscle cars, but he was like, I create little toy cars too. He was saying that he collects baseball cards and, you know, different retro kind of stuff. And then Tyler, the Creator, was like, wow. And he also pointed out the fact that Funkmaster Flex kind of perked up when he was talking about like his hobbies outside of hip hop and everything like that. And he was like, yo, Tyler, the Creator, was like, Funk Flex, you a nerd a little bit, right? And a geek and a dweeb. And Funk Flex laughed, and they found that common ground, you know? And then all of a sudden, Tyler, the Creator, lightened up, and he was like, yeah, man, Funk Flex is my bestie. And he was like, this is crazy. I didn't think that this interview would be like this. This is dope. And to be honest with you, I didn't think the interview would be like that either. And the interview was dope too. And to me, even though, you know, Igor is not my cup of tea sonically, you know, I don't think that it's rap. I think that it's alternative hip hop, if you want to even call it that. If Tyler, the Creator, wants to really rap, he should rap, you know what I'm saying? I do think that DJ Khaled's album was better than Igor. Father of Aside was better than Igor. But with all that being said though, Tyler, the Creator, as far as like his personality and everything like that, definitely won me over with this interview. I'm like, yo, Tyler, the Creator is not bad, you know? And I never thought that Tyler, the Creator, was trash or whack, and I never thought like, oh, you know, Tyler, the Creator, you know, get out of hip hop or nothing like that. But I do like understand like where he's coming from a little bit more now, which is dope. And man, I wouldn't have normally watched a Tyler the Creator interview, but because it was with Funk Flex and you got all these hip hop heads and these New York people, and I'm from Brooklyn and I'm also a hip hop head, but I do, I like Lil Pump and stuff like that. But Tyler the Creator is just so off the beaten path of a Lil Pump, a Kodak Black, or a Nas, or a Styles P, that it's like I can't even really rock with that. But I understand it a little bit more now after watching that interview, and I do think that it's dope. You know what I'm saying? Tyler the Creator was joking with him, so he was making like a bunch of gay jokes with Funk Flex. Funk Flex was laughing. I mean, it was a dope interview, and then Funk Flex was feeling Tyler the Creator so much to the point where he was like, you know what? When are you coming back to New York next? He was like, I think September, something like that. I'm performing at Madison Square Garden, right? And then Funk Flex was like, yo, I don't want no bread. I don't want no paper, right? But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to come through your set at Madison Square Garden and we're gonna work together, we'll merge, and I'm gonna warm the crowd up before you come out on the set, on the 1 and 2s. And I was like, wow, like that's big, right? And I've been to a bunch of shows where Funk Master Flex was on the set. But again, 21 Savage came out after Funk Master Flex was on the set. You know what I'm saying? Snoop Dogg came out after Funk Flex was on the set. 50 Cent. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like a Tyler the Creator type of dude. It was gangster rappers, right? Not necessarily have to be from New York. Snoop ain't from New York. 21 ain't from New York, right? 50 is, but it was just more like in that gangster rap kind of vein, right? Not on that other type of rap, right? And I just think that this whole thing is dope. I really gained a brand new respect for Tyler the Creator, and it just goes to show you that because of social media and everything that we have now, there's really 3 different ways that you can digest a rapper, right? You can like a rapper's personality and you can like their music, right? So Rico Nasty, I love her music and I love her personality. The Baby, I love his music and I love his personality, right? So you just love that full artist, right? But then there's some artists that you may not necessarily like their music, but you like their personality, so you fuck with them anyway, right? Like T.I. Lately, T.I.'s music hasn't been all of that, but I still love T.I.'s personality, and his music back in the day was dope, so, I'm gonna still rock with T.I., right? And then there's artists that you may love their music and not like their personality. Like A$AP Rocky has some good songs, but his personality sucks, yo. And that's why a lot of people are like, hey, let him rot in jail, you know what I'm saying? And then there's other rappers, like let's say an Azalea Banks, where me personally, I don't like her personality or her music, you know what I'm saying? So it's all of that, right? And now Tyler the Creator is making me like his person. I love Tyler the Creator's personality, and his music is okay, you know what I'm saying? But it was pretty dope, and that interview really opened my eyes. So y'all should watch the interview and let me know what y'all think in the comments. Alright, so Nicki Minaj goes on Twitter yesterday, right? And she's like, I started doing Cream Radio to have a little fun with my fans. I now have the most listened to show on Apple Music. I don't think people understand. I don't put limits on myself, so please, I love you guys. Much love and support. I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queens, New York City. Like, what? Like, she was hyped that she has the most listened to radio show on Apple Music, and she just started doing it, like she said, to talk to her fans, right? It was gonna be a 1-2 thing, you know. It's not gonna be consistent. It's not like every Friday she's gonna do Queen Radio, but maybe, you know, she'll pop in once every 3 weeks and do something, right? And then is she doing it from the Beats One studio, or is she doing it from her crib, right? And you know, it doesn't really matter because it's Nicki Minaj, right? But this is dope because now, if for some reason Nicki Minaj is just so polarizing, right? And she's also really good at promoting stuff. So she's got people hype yet again, because she's like, yo, Queen Radio Friday, major announcement, right? And everything that Nicki Minaj has been through, from pregnancy rumors to are you dropping a new album, to you came out with a song with Trina, are you gonna work with Meg Thee Stallion? How do you feel about this new boom and new wave of all female rappers? Lately, a bunch of female rappers were showing her love on Instagram. Saweetie, Lady Leisure, Meg Thee Stallion, just so many other female rappers are like, yo, we love you, Nicki, and we do realize that you were the one that paved the way. which all of that is cool and everything. So now Nicki Minaj is saying, yo, I got a major announcement on Friday. You know, y'all gotta tune into Queen Radio on Friday. Y'all gotta check it out on Friday. Today's Thursday, so Queen Radio is tomorrow. So we'll see what the major announcement is. She could say that, hey, me and my man Petty Zoo are getting married. Me and my man Petty Zoo Ben got married a year ago. She could be like, yo, I'm pregnant now. Like, or she could be like, I'm coming out with a compilation album with 5 other female rappers. Like, we don't know, right? But this is gonna be dope. And of course, everybody's gonna tune in because Nicki Minaj is the promo god, and she's letting us know, like, yeah, you know, something's going on. Oh yeah, and by the way, I got the #1 radio show on Apple Music, so y'all better tune in, you know what I'm saying, which is all dope. So let me know what y'all think about this and everything else in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure I hit that notification bell and follow me at Jonny Fastlane on Instagram. That's JONNY, and y'all already know what to do. Peace.